Iron Man Model 20. This is the second time Marvel Legends has tackled this iteration of Iron Man. Let's check out how well they did. What is up, my peeps? It's the Ruckus coming at you with another action figure review. Marvel Legends, of course, Iron Man Retro Wave. This is the number 5 figure in the review, and it's the number 3 for Iron Man. There were 3 Iron Man figures in this wave. We've previously reviewed the Model 1 and the Model 9, and now we're here at the Model 20. This is the second time that Marvel Legends has tackled the Model 20. The first time was through Toy Biz, and we will see what that one looks like and how it compares to this one a little bit later on. But this is the current version, and this, when we get it out of packaging, I mean, it looks good in packaging. When we get out of packaging, this may very well end up being a lot of people's favorite Iron Man figure. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We'll see that when we get this this bad boy out of packaging. Right now, you see what's going on in packaging. We've got the figure. We've got another set of hands, which are mirrored from what he's in packaging with. And we get 4 repulsor blasts. On the rear, we have the sketch that shows how you change out the hands and the 4 repulsor effects. Turning back to the front here so we can get one last look before you know what's going to happen next. And here we have our Model 20 on the rotating base, and you can go 360 degrees and see what we're working with here. And very, very, very good looking figure. I can tell you guys, if you hadn't seen the first version of the Model 20, trust and believe that this is definitely an upgrade, definitely an improvement. But it is not without its flaws, and we'll go through those flaws in a minute. As far as the accessories that we saw in that packaging, these are the mirrored hands that he comes with, a left fist and a right repulsor blasting hand. And of course, we have the 4 2 and 2 here. Make sure I got them all. Yep, 4 blue translucent repulsor blasts, which can go both in the hands and in the feet. So that's pretty nice. Taking a look at some of the finer details on our Model 20. We'll start with the helmet. It's still basically the classic Iron Man helmet design, but there are differences, as you can see, with the way how the helmet is. You've got these the cheeks are sleeker and they come down, and you see the difference with the mouth slit. It almost appears as though the lower jaw is a separate piece, but it isn't. And then, of course, you've got the eye slits. They've got white pupilless eyes behind them, so that's more of like an electronic readout instead of his actual eyes. And when we go down, you see we've got the red. He's basically red and gold, and he is sporting gold as opposed to yellow. We've seen that before a couple times where Hasbro has actually made the gold part gold. The wild thing is, on his arms, they got the gold, and they look okay, right? And they look okay mid-torso. But then when I get to the legs, I don't know if it's translating well on screen, but the legs look plastic-like. You know what I'm saying? They look cheap. The arms, the biceps, they look cool, and the mid-torso looks cool with the gold. But then when we get to the thighs, that looks kind of cheap and plasticky. When I look here on the outer side, the same thing. They look kind of cheap and plastic-like. We've got some gold right there for an energy nodule. As far as the gold on the helmet, I should have mentioned that. That looks pretty good. The gold for the helmet doesn't look cheap at all. I have to report that I actually have a defect on mine. Right here, I've got, and this came out of packaging that way, I don't know if that's, I think that's just, I could probably get that off because this is molded. So we'll see if I could get this off right there. But hopefully I can, because I can tell you I've been pretty spoiled in all my years of action figure collecting, Marvel Legends collecting. I have rarely had bad paint jobs, and so I've been pretty spoiled, so it always takes me aback when it happens. We've got a nice white there for the Unibeam or arc reactor if you guys are circa 2008 and on when it comes to Iron Man. Going down to the bottom there, you see that the boots basically go all the way up to thigh high, as you can see right there. And then we've got that down there. One of the flaws I was talking about, and I'll demonstrate that in a moment because we're about to go through the articulation scheme. We've got the head is on a ball hinge, so he can look up like that, which is pretty cool. And he can look down that far, which is nice. And his neck is actually a separate piece, so that actually rotates on its own. So you got some very little pivot for the head, but you can rotate around. I'm going to stop right there because I forgot to mention the back there where the Model 20 has these fins. So I don't want to leave that out. You got these fins back there. I never could remember if they served any purpose other than cosmetic, but they do make the armor look cool. We do have a lot of details in there that some black line work would have brought all of that out, but I digress. We already know what time it is with that. Okay, back to the matter at hand. As far as the shoulders go, we can get not quite 90, probably because of the pads here. You can 360. The pads are connected to the actual shoulders. You got bicep swivel. You have this nice and seamless double jointed pinless elbows. And then you've got swiveling wrists, and they horizontally hinge in. And now here's where one of the flaws or downsides are. Because of the design of the upper hand there, the outer hand, you are not going to get much in terms of bending the hand this way, for when he shoots his repulsors. And if you do, you're going to be forcing it, and you'll probably stress out that plastic. So that's kind of unfortunate. As far as the rest goes, he's got a diaphragm, which he actually gets something, not much, but he gets something a lot more than most others get with their diaphragm. And he can go back that much. He can tilt side to side, and you can rotate him at that diaphragm, but he also has a waist swivel, so you got that too, so that's pretty cool. Now, this is Iron Man, and he can do Van Damme splits, believe it or not. So he's got that. He can kick almost 90 degrees, go back that far. He's got the thigh cut. He's got double jointed. Actually, there's a pin, a single pin, but I think it's hidden well the way how they did it. It's a pinned knee kind of, sort of, but there's only one of them. So they managed to hide it pretty well with that. As far as his toes are concerned, he's only going to be able to point his toe that far forward. Going to get almost nothing going up because this flap over the ankle is blocking that out. And speaking of ankle pivot is really, it's there, but you're not going to get much of it. And he does have holes, peg holes at the bottom of his feet. And here's that first iteration of the Model 20 armor that we received way back in the Toy Biz days. You can see that it really hasn't held up all that well. If I'm not mistaken, it wasn't called Model 20 when they released this. I think they called it the modular Iron Man or something like that. I could be wrong about that. It could be another armor that I'm thinking of, but I know they did not call this Model 20 back then. You could see how far Marvel Legends has come when it comes in regards to their Iron Man figures. Look at the differences in the heights. Obviously, when you're looking at Toy Biz, you're going to have wonky kinds of anatomy, gorilla arms, as the version on the right has, the Toy Biz version has, and you see the differences in colors and stuff. So yeah, that's what it looked like then. And our Model 20 on our left is what we got now. I think we're all would be quite happy knowing that we've got the one on the left as the standard Model 20 now. And here he is with the classic style armor. This is, of course, the 80th anniversary Iron Man. And before we bring in the rest of his wave mates, let's just take a picture of Model 20 along with the other two versions of armor, the other two models that were also a part of this wave. To our right, we have the Model 1, the Gold Edition, and behind we have got the Model 9. And now our Model 20 is joined by the other two members of this wave that I've previously reviewed. On our left, we have Count Lucino Nefaria, and on our right, we have Whiplash. So to sum this one all up, the Marvel Legends Iron Man Retro Wave Iron Man Model 20 is a great looking figure by my estimation. Definitely a welcome addition, and that's number 3 in this wave, and that's 3 more versions of armor that I now have for my upcoming Hall of Armor display. And I will show you guys that display one day once I get everything the way I want it. And when we get that Hulkbuster in the fall, that's going to be the capper, of course. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Talking about the Model 20, very nice looking figure. Definitely an upgrade from what we got years ago with Toy Biz. We got an additional set of hands, mirrored hands, and 4 repulsor effects. So that's really nice, and I figured I'd show them off right here. Caveats: the hands, even though it is the design, you can't really flick the wrists up because of the pieces that are on top of the hands. Hasbro, maybe they could have gotten away with making that piece articulated so it can fold when you move the hands up, but they didn't do it, so I digress. That's not how we got it going on. That's about the only true flaw that I can think of, or something that could have been better. I don't want to call it a flaw. We only have very minimal articulation in the ankle/foot area. You can't point too far forward or up, and your pivot, it's there but not much, but it's still pretty good. This is a great figure in my estimation. Definitely it's probably, for up to this point, my favorite in this wave. Even though I'm loving all the figures that we've gotten, it's going to be really difficult to rate this wave because for me, they're all winners. And speaking of winners, you know what's next up in this wave. We'll be closing out the reviews on this wave with the next one. You guys must know what it is, so there's no reason for me to actually say it. What I will say is let me know what you think about Model 20 in the comments below. Also, like, share, subscribe to the channel. Hit that notification bell if you want to be notified when I upload another video. And that's how it will get done.